Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Sing Me a Story concert here presented by the Numotion Foundation and benefiting the ALS Association. We are so excited to be here doing this tonight with you all on this Monday night here in October. We have three wonderful Sing Me a Story songwriters who have all turned stories from the ALS Association Tennessee chapter into songs that we will be hearing tonight. And we have one of the families that benefited from the song, from one of the songs here with us as well. So we are really excited. With the world turning upside down the way it did with COVID-19, it forced Sing Me a Story to lean on the virtual world as it has for so many of us. And this is one of the really neat things that has come of this is our ability to host things like this concert. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Sing Me a Story, what we do is we give deserving children in need all over the world the chance to write and illustrate stories about whatever they want. And then we give those to songwriters who turn them into songs and send them back to the kids. So tonight we have brought together, as I mentioned, three of these songwriters who have done just that. And what we will be hearing is each of those songwriters go through and play their song that was inspired by a story from the ALS Association, the Tennessee chapter, and answer a couple questions about the song and talk a bit about the story, and then play one of their original songs, a song that they may have written on their own. Because as I mentioned, they're all songwriters in their own right. All of you out watching, you'll be able to donate to the songs on our website. So we're calling it our virtual tip jar. So if you look down in your YouTube chat, when each song is played, you'll see a link to that particular song on our website that you can go to and you can make a donation to. And when you make a donation, you'll receive the song as an MP3 with your donation receipt. And the money that gets raised will go toward the ALS Association, the Tennessee chapter, as well as Sing Me a Story. And also in that YouTube chat, you can ask any questions that you might want the songwriter to answer or Sing Me a Story to answer. And at the end of all of these performances, we'll have a brief question answer portion that we can get some of those questions answered for you. So as I mentioned, this tonight is being presented by the Numotion Foundation. Sing Me a Story has been lucky enough to be partnered with the Numotion Foundation. This is the end of our third year, and we've been able to do a lot of great work with them, which has been an honor to be a part of. Having said that, I'd like to introduce Brett Barzak, who is the Chief Marketing Officer at Numotion and a representative of the Numotion Foundation, to say a few words of welcome, and then we will get started. Brett?
Hey, thanks, Austin. We're super excited to be a part of this today. So I just want to give you all a little bit of background here on how Numotion and the Numotion Foundation got together. So 3 years ago, I received an out-of-the-blue email from this guy named Austin, who I didn't know. One of those typical email outreaches that I think many of us kind of ignore, but this one just caught my eye. The name of the organization was very interesting to me. Sing Me a Story. I was highly intrigued. And so I responded back to Austin and we had a couple of exchanges. I checked out their website, which was fantastic. And both Austin and I at the time were living in Milwaukee. He's moved away subsequently, but we got together for an initial lunch. And I was impressed right from the start, both with Austin and with what he and the Sing Me a Story team were doing and creating. And we're in the process of expanding. It was just such a unique concept, and I wanted Numotion to be a part of it. And so we serve at Numotion a lot of pediatric customers, and so I knew right away it was going to be a great fit for us. I know there's several of my colleagues and teammates from Numotion on this call, but for those of you not familiar with Numotion, just briefly, we're the largest and leading provider of what's called complex rehab technology in the United States. So what complex rehab technology at its core, we provide mobility and independence to individuals with severe and permanent mobility limitations. Some examples of customers we serve are people with spinal cord injuries, people with muscular dystrophy, with cerebral palsy, with multiple sclerosis, and also people with ALS, who, as Austin referenced, we're in partnership with here for the concert today. So Numotion was, I think, the second corporate sponsor and corporate partner of Sing Me a Story. And we just couldn't be happier with how everything has gone. In year one, we partnered with MDA, with the Muscular Dystrophy Association. The Sing Me a Story team produced 12 different songs, as well as a feature video of an MDA ambassador, a great teenager named Carly. I'd encourage you to check out that full video, as well as the songs we did. It was just fun and energizing how it all came together. And then prior to year two in our relationship, we at Numotion established the Numotion Foundation. And that's essentially our philanthropic arm of Numotion. And we contribute through the foundation to causes that serve communities of common interest to Numotion. And so we, at that point, shifted our funding and our contributions and partnership with Sing Me a Story over to the Numotion Foundation. And in year two, we partnered with United Cerebral Palsy. And so we, again, with the help of the great talent of the Sing Me a Story individuals and the songwriters who are volunteering their time, produced a number of great stories and songs from kiddos with CP. And we had another awesome featured video as part of that with a youngster named Jeremiah. We're now in year three. And so we've been working with ALSA and specifically the Tennessee chapter, as well as the Golden West chapter in California, on more stories and songs. So, and of course, COVID has required some changes and a unique approach, but the Sing Me a Story team quickly adapted and pivoted to a virtual approach, and it's worked out just great. So again, today, the concert is coming from the work we've done together with the ALSA Tennessee chapter. We're thrilled to be partnered with them. They've been great to work with, and I'm excited for all of you to hear the stories and the songs. So just to wrap up, I just want to say thank you to you, Austin, as well as Tom and the entire Sing Me a Story team. Thank you to the songwriters who are on participating in the concert today, as well as all the songwriters who just take their time to participate in what, again, I believe is a truly unique experience. We at Numotion and the Numotion Foundation are so proud to be a part of this. So thank you all for joining, and please consider donating as well to support Sing Me a Story and the ALSA Tennessee chapter. Thanks, Austin.
Thank you so much, Brett. I really appreciate, we all really appreciate those kind words. And yes, the Numotion Foundation and Numotion were our second partner, our first year of working with corporate partners, and that has grown exponentially. And that's in large part because of you all answering an email from a crazy guy with an idea. And that's grown and grown. So we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you all. So, so thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
All right. So here we go. All right, here we go on our first performer of the night. Our first performer is Charlie Roth. And what's been really neat about this whole virtual environment is that we were always connecting songwriters across the globe with deserving kids across the globe. But now that we've really started leaning as a community so much on this virtual atmosphere, we've been forced and are starting to do things like this, a virtual concert where people are really together in person. So tonight we have songwriter Charlie, for example, who's from a small town outside of a small town in northern Minnesota called Foley, Minnesota, and outside of St. Cloud. That was the name of the town I was looking for. And Charlie is going to play a song that he wrote for May and Ruben, based on their story called May and Ruben's First Book. They're part of the Cathy family, and May is 5 and Ruben is 3. And Charlie's song is called May and Ruben to the Rescue. And as a quick reminder, in the YouTube chat, you will see a link to the song that you can click on, and you'll also see a bigger Sing Me a Story experience video where you'll see the family hearing the song for the first time. You'll see a brief interview with Charlie and the family. So be sure to check that out. And if you're so inclined to make a donation that is meaningful to you, that certainly would be appreciated as well. But without further ado, Charlie, I would like to welcome you to this call.
Hello, Austin.
How are you, sir?
I'm real good today.
Good. Well,
Snowing.
It is snowing up there in northern Minnesota, that's for sure. Thank you so much for being here. would you mind telling us a little bit, Charlie, about the story that you chose and what particular aspects of the story inspired you to turn this into a song?
Well, kids can come up with stuff that I would never think of in a million years as a songwriter staring at a blank page. So when I really like the pink dog. I like to, you know, uh, that he got into a movie theater and May and Ruben, they're just such great kids. When I like imagination, that's what attracted me to it. They
That's
have a great
wonderful.
imagination.
That's wonderful. Well, as a teaser for those that may want to go watch the video online, I know there's a part of the song that the kids especially loved, and I think that was a part of the song that goes poop de poop. Is that right,
Yeah,
Charlie?
yeah. We use the P word.
Yeah, and they thought that was pretty hysterical. Those jokes never seem to get old.
No,
Uh,
no. And the thing about it is like that word is funny to kids, and I mean, I was able to use it in the song, even though it's like maybe raise an eyebrow or two, but it was their word, not mine.
Absolutely. Well, Charlie, thank you so much. I'm eager to hear the song, and I'll let you take it away.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna play the kazoo on it too. Um, Man Rubens to the rescue. Uh-oh, I have to change this. Is All right, I'm ready now. I'm gonna take two. Well, May was eating popcorn, Reuben's eating blue ice cream, and they're waiting for the movie to start. Getting so excited to see Sleeping Beauty. And then suddenly, the whole dang screen goes dark. Well, I guess it was a pink dog that got into the control room, pulled out the projector plug and left muddy paw prints on the floor. May and Reuben, they saved the day. Went and sent that dog away. They gave him a bone and they put him out the door. May was eating popcorn, Reuben's eating blue ice cream, and they're watching Sleeping Beauty again. Well, I guess someone went out to their car, must have left the door ajar, 'cause that pink dog came scampering back in. Well, there he was, that pesky pup. We named him after Aunt Sally, and a peach-colored pooch named Penelope, his friend. Their paws is all muddy. They're getting mud on everybody and are ruining our movie again. Well, it was Reuben to the rescue, along with May McMoo. Rub it up, they gave them both a bath. Now scrubbed up with soap and water, went back out from the theater. When they rolled back in that puddle, we just had to laugh. Well, poop-de-poop, chuck darn and fiddlesticks. I guess Kate teach an old dog new tricks. Happily ever after, good times and laughter. Popcorn and blue ice cream. that's it.
Bravo, bravo. That was great, Charlie. Thank you so much. That was awesome. And yeah, I think my favorite part still is the poopity poop and fiddlesticks
Right.
line is classic. You can't fit that into every song, but that
No,
certainly was
I
appropriate.
never have before.
That's a first for you, huh?
Yeah, right.
And Charlie, your harmonica holder, is that a self-made contraption for a kazoo that you put on there?
Yeah, I had a welder do that, and I had actually made the initial one out of like some stuff in my garage, and it was falling apart. So I had actually had professional. I said, "Oh, I need my kazoo to be right up here by my mouth, by my harmonica," and he fashioned it like that. So, yeah, and the rack is actually homemade too from a guy that I met at a festival one time about 20 years ago.
That's neat. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing that. I know, unfortunately, the kids weren't able to join us today. I think we ran up with some fall break in Tennessee, some fall break conflicts. But in the video, you can see their reaction, and I know they really got a kick out of it. What message from your for May and Ruben about their story, about their song, about their personalities? What kind of would you like to leave with them after meeting them through Sing Me a Story?
Well, Austin, I just would encourage any buddy that has like an imagination just to not lose that. Don't let it society or I was nurtured by certain people to keep my creative mind going, and if without those people, there was a lot of people that said, "No, you'll never do that." No, but I think to just persevere with any kind of art, and I can't wait till their second book.
Yeah, they certainly have quite an imagination. It was really fun to get to know them, and so thank you for being a part of this. And I know you're about to play your second song, and would you kind of share a bit? And again, this is an original song of yours. Kind of share a bit about this song, and what the work of the ALS Association means to you, and just kind of go through that. That would be great, and introduce your next tune.
Well, it isn't my song. It's Austin. This is a song written by a friend of mine for years and years. I have a friend who was a songwriter, and he's got ALS, and he's listening in on this thing right now to hear his song. And Jerry and I grew up in the same part of Minnesota, which is on the border of South Dakota, and there's a prairie. I was just out there. I just got back from there. I was out in South Dakota, and it's a whole different thing. It's flat, and there's certain songs that Jerry wrote that I just loved, and this is the second one I learned. I learned one about his hometown, Canby, and I've written songs about my hometown, Madison, which is only 20 miles away. But this is a song that Jerry wrote after hearing an accordion player say that up in North Dakota, where both of our great grandfathers came from Norway, and they were living in these sod houses out there. And I think that just the perseverance of these people, I mean, living in a house with that kind of weather, getting through the winter, and an accordion player said that the barns are still ringing, like they had the dances in the barns. And my German grandfather played. I have his violin. He played fiddle tunes in barn dances in his youth. So the song resonated with me, and I'd like to dedicate this to my friend Jerry, who's listening in. He used to talk about those long summer nights and about a wind that would just never rest. He used to talk about boys being boys out behind the barn, about a girl in a soft summer dress. On Saturday night, when all the week's work was done, they would turn all those cows out to roam. They would gather, dance, they'd sing all those songs about home. Roll down the window, listen as you pass by, 'cause up there in North Dakota, barns are still ringing. Sometimes they would just go crazy, driven mad by the wild winter wind blowing out. You could feel like they've already been buried, nose earth and sod bubbles above the ground. But in time the prairie would soften, the flowers and grasses would grow. They would gather to celebrate the season. They'd dance to those old songs from home. So roll down your window and listen as you pass by, 'cause up there in North Dakota, barns are still ringing. Well, now, prairie sure can get lonesome. It goes on for miles and miles. You can feel like you're adrift out on an ocean with no harbor to rest for a while. They thought about their loved ones way on over that cold, angry sea. You could still see their faces, hear them singing those old melodies. So roll down your window and listen as you pass by, 'cause up there in North Dakota, barns are still ringing. Jerry Austin So, Granite Falls, Minnesota, wrote that song.
Wow, Charlie. Thank you so much for that. What a gift. And if anyone ever wondered if music can paint a picture, that's proof that it truly can. That was something. I have goosebumps. I think I probably speak for everybody that just watched that. Thank you, sir.
I have to apologize. I kind of miffed the lyrics on the first verse. It's supposed to go, and they would dance in the barns to those old fiddle tunes that reminded everybody of home. And that one might have been something that they're settled. They're still speaking Norwegian or German, and they're all of a sudden in this very flat place where they came from a mountainous country, and there's no trees, and they have to build houses out of dirt and sod. I mean,
Sure.
it paints a really nice picture. And Jerry's I would urge everybody to go and search him out. Austin, so Ostensoe,
That's
and
right.
Jerry. Yeah, there's
Awesome.
all sorts of songs like that.
That's great. Well, thank you to Jerry, who I know is watching with his wife. I think you said her name is Diane. Thank you, sir, for writing such a beautiful song, and thank you, Charlie, for sharing that with us tonight. And thank you for all that you've done for Sing Me a Story and for turning May and Ruben's song May and Ruben's story into a song. So we really appreciate all you've done, and thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to correct that. That's Deb. On my phone, her name is Deb Fawson, and I call her Deb's Jerry's Angel. So.
Oh, fair enough. Well, thank you for that. Well, thank you, Charlie. We'd like to welcome Ann Rollins, who is the Director of Development for ALSA Tennessee chapter. And Ann is going to say a few words. Ann?
Yes, hello. Thank you so much. Man, that is a tough act to follow because that was just such a beautiful song. I'm very, very touched. I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much to the Sing Me a Story Foundation and the Numotion Foundation for just the opportunity to share a little bit about the ALS Association and specifically the Tennessee chapter. We are committed here to supporting people with ALS and their loved ones through services, education, all throughout the state of Tennessee. And we're also continuing the search for effective treatments and a cure for ALS. I just wanted to give a little bit in case you don't know about what ALS is. ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, kind of a mouthful, is a progressive neurodegenerative disease. It affects nerve cells in the brain and the spinal cord. It attacks the body, leaving people affected without the ability to walk, talk, eat, and eventually breathe. Every 90 minutes, someone is diagnosed with ALS or passes away from it, and over 5,000 people are diagnosed with ALS each year in the United States. The disease can really affect anyone. It's a really expensive disease. There can be significant costs for medical care, equipment, home health throughout the ALS journey. We are seeing some progress in research, and so we have several things on the pipeline that are showing real progress. And so I think for the first time in a long time, people are feeling a lot of hope about some potential treatments and a cure. The ALS Association Tennessee chapter specifically, we're here to support people living with ALS, their families, caregivers, through localized care and resources throughout the state. So we currently serve over 300 people living with ALS through care services programs such as equipment loan programs, ALS clinics, support groups, communication programs, home visits, and more. We offer all of our services free of charge to those affected by ALS, and we receive no state or federal funding or insurance reimbursement. So all of our support is based on donations. So from individuals, from companies, people like you all can make a real difference in our ability to serve and advocate for and empower those affected by ALS to continue to live their lives to the fullest even after the diagnosis. Just a few specific things and programs. We're able to offer multidisciplinary ALS clinics each month in some parts of the state, where those living with ALS, they can visit doctors, nurses, therapists, and more all in one visit. So they don't have to go around the city seeing tons of different people. They can go to one place and see everybody they need to see in one visit, which is really great for them. We have monthly support groups I mentioned that are available to ALS clients, family members, caregivers. We have equipment loan closets. I mentioned how expensive equipment and devices can cost, but we're able to loan some devices out so they can have access to those vital items such as like shower chairs, seat lifts, all free of charge. We also have a communications program where people living with ALS can have the opportunity to learn how to use a device to help them keep their voice, even if they're unable to speak. And we also I think one of our greatest programs is our care services coordinators that are across the state, and they work directly with the people living with ALS, their families and caregivers. They really walk alongside those living with ALS as they navigate this ALS journey. So I just want to say thank you again so much. We appreciate all of your support. This has been such a wonderful experience for us, and to hear about the stories from the families and with the kids. And sometimes it's hard to get the kids involved and kind of hear their perspective, but just what a fun way to hear these songs and see their stories through this. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Anne, and thank you for sharing all the incredible work you all are doing. Thanks to the Numotion Foundation, we were able to connect with you all. And
Yes.
What's really been neat for us for Sing Me a Story is that when you hear our mission and you hear what we do, you automatically think of all types of organizations that serve children specifically, whether it's a children's hospital or Boys and Girls Club or those types of things. And oftentimes when folks think of ALS, they don't necessarily directly think of kids.
Mm-hmm.
And what's been really neat for us is that to work alongside an organization like yours that supports the whole family. I mean, you all are such a demonstration of that you're not there just to help the patient necessarily. You're there to help everybody that's affected by that diagnosis. And, you do so masterfully. And that's what's really been, a privilege of ours is to walk alongside you all in serving these whole families. So thank you for doing that. To say it's been humbling is an understatement. Getting to know some of these folks and these families. So thank you for that opportunity, and thank you to the Numotion Foundation for giving us the chance to work with you.
Yes, no, thank you so much for those kind words. We really appreciate it. And you're exactly right. A lot of times people just think of the one person that's being affected by this disease, but it really affects everyone from their kids, spouse, caregivers, families. And, we're just so grateful, and they inspire us every day. So I'm so glad that you all had the opportunity to connect with these families as well. So thanks again.
Absolutely. We look forward to hopefully a long partnership. So,
yes.
Thank you, Anne.
Thanks.
All right. Well, next up, we have Micah Olson. And oddly enough, we have two songwriters from Milwaukee joining us this round. One is Micah Olson, who wrote a song called The Mountain Man for a story called The Mountain Man. And as a reminder, in your YouTube chat, you'll see a link to the song where you'll be able to donate to the song, receive the song as an MP3 with your donation receipt, and the money that gets raised goes towards the ALSA Tennessee chapter, as well as Sing Me a Story. So, Micah, can you join us? There he is.
See me now.
All right. Hey, Micah, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for taking this story, this really cool story about a mountain man, and turning it into a song. Can you tell us a little bit about the story you chose and why you chose it, and how you turned it into a song, and kind of what part of the story inspired you?
Oh man. Okay. Well, the story was actually chosen for me. I had written a story or a song a couple years back for someone, and I got asked to join the Sing Me a Songwriter songwriting team. And apparently, they think of me when they think of songs with animals and things like that in them. My other song was about basically animals playing and having a great time with one another. So I was sent this one, and I read it, and I loved it. It was a great tale, a lot of creativity in there. Essentially, Reed, who wrote the story, he is also the protagonist in the story, and he's out camping, and a scary mountain man comes down in sight, and Reed does what he has to do. He takes care of the mountain man, but there's a twist ending, so I'm not really going to go much further into the story than that, because I tried to keep my song very much to his tale, just made some words rhyme, and tried to sum it up as best I could.
Very cool. Well, we have a special treat tonight. Tonight we have Reed on the phone call here, on the Zoom call, along with Kinley, who may have already gone to bed, his little sister. But Mom Rachel is here, and family friend Anthony are all with us here to hear a live version of your song. There they are.
Right. Good.
Hi.
Hey guys,
Hey.
how's
Kelly's
it going?
here, but she's fading.
She is here? Good.
She's here, but she's fading.
Oh, okay. Well, I know how that goes. Well, guys, we're so excited to have you here. And without further ado, I will let Micah play the song for all of us.
All right, here's the Mountain Man. The story begins with a boy named Reed, exploring the woods, such a brave boy indeed. Grabbed his backpack, sleeping bag, and tent, and on his way he went in search of wild animals. It was a perfect day, the sun was beating down, a cold breeze blowing around, squirrels shuffled on the ground. Then what dear reeds I see, oh, mountain man coming down the tree. He looked like Tarzan had robbed the armory, and he's got one of several rifles there, aimed right at Reed. But things aren't always what they seem before you carry a Bugs Bunny costume. You'll know just what to do when you dress like a cartoon. So Reed shouted stop, followed by a what's up doc. To the mountain man, great shock, he pulled out the perfect rock. He let it fly, he let it soar, he let it sing. Oh, smashed the man's gun right to smithereens. It took that mean old man and tied him to a tree. Our hero Reed. But then, well, strange things started happening. Oh, his face looked weird. Hey man, wait. Are you wearing a mask? Hey, wait, you're my friend Anthony. Where? Hey, Anthony! Oh, you got me good! Oh, man! You know, it could have got us killed. But I'm really glad it's you, Anthony. These things aren't always what they seem before our heroes Reed and Anthony. They settled in, and with a grin, let the next adventure begin. That's it.
That was awesome.
Is this how am I doing?
Doing this.
That was so cool. So Reed, and it was Anthony. Is Anthony there with you?
It was me.
It was you. That's so cool. Did you like your song, Reed?
I loved it. It was so good. Thank you.
I'm glad you liked it. It was a great story. I especially like the Bugs Bunny costume that you pulled out. I feel like anybody watching, you should go read his whole story, and then you can put the song into a little more context, because he's got some great pictures that go along with it. And yeah, like I said, I just tried to paint that picture with some music.
That's so cool. And Reed, where did you get the idea for a story like that?
I don't really know.
Yeah. Well, it was so creative. It was really
Very
fun.
creative.
Yeah,
Good creativity in that one.
I can tell. And I know, Reed, when you watched your video, was there another surprise that we were able to put in there for the video of your song?
Was there another surprise? Do you remember the surprise?
Backstreet?
NSYNC.
Oh, NSYNC.
Close. I get them mixed up all the time too. Don't worry about it.
It was trying to think of the name. Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, totally. So it's a little surprise. We were, for those audience members, we wrote to Reed's a fan of NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys apparently, and we were able to track down Chris Kirkpatrick, who was kind enough to do a little video shout out to Reed and his family. So if you go to the website and check out the song and the story, you can kind of see what that's all about too. So thank you, Reed, so much for your awesome imagination and your awesome story, bud. I'm so glad you liked it. And Rachel, what was your Sing Me a Story experience like as mom, getting to kind of see it from the sidelines?
It was neat to get to see him create a story along with Tom when they got on the phone one day to just go from scratch to start, from start to finish. And Tom was always so positive and helping lead Reed where to go next. And I mean, he just made it enjoyable the whole time. Every time I've talked to Tom, he's been so kind and helpful. And we just really appreciate you guys letting him be a part of this and do this.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for letting us be one small part of your journey there. And Anthony, thanks for being the motivation of this story, being the trickster mountain man. We appreciate you being involved too, sir.
Did my best.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, great. Mike, is there any kind of lasting message you want to send to Reed and Rachel and Kinley and Anthony?
Oh, just, good luck with everything. Keep on being creative in as many forms as you can. It's good. Time.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for everything. Micah is going to share one of his original tunes now before he says goodbye. So Micah, I'll let you take it from here.
All right. This is a tune called Dollar, and I wanted to do something kind of fun with it. So I brought in some beats and this little pad thing and a fake choir to accompany me, and we'll see how it goes. I've been seeking sound to split the silence. Little matter brighten up these days. And I've been waiting while these waters warming. A few more minutes, I'll be on my way. But now, by the time we figure it out, it's already gone. I declare it'll be the death of me. Well, I've been loving you for most my lifetime. Leave a dollar bill on the floor. It's just the way we live, no one's complaining. We don't pay for music anymore. But now, by the time we figured it out,
out, you know it's already gone. I declare it'll be the death of me. By the time we figured it out, no, it's already gone. I declare it'll be the death of me. Well, I've been seeking sound, split the silence all around. Little not a brighten up these days. But if you leave me love, I'd be so lonesome. Cry like a beggar by your door. By the time we figure it out, you know it's already gone. I declare it'll be the death of me. Now, by the time we figure it out, you know it's already gone. I declare it'll be the death of me. That's it.
Bravo. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Micah. That was
Thank you.
great. Yeah, totally. And I think Autumn is putting in the YouTube chat links to all the artists' websites or Facebook where folks can go and hear more of your music. So thank you so much for sharing that. We really appreciate it. And thank you for all that you've done for Sing Me a Story. I know, as you could obviously see in Reed's smile, it makes a huge difference. So thank you.
You know, it's great to have little projects like that to do. As a songwriter, you can get very, very into figuring out what the heck you're trying to say. I just had to figure, he said it all. I just had to put music to it. So it was like, it's a big load off my shoulders.
Well, you both did a great job. So thank you. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. So stick around for the Q&A because I'm sure folks will have some questions. So next up is Miss Jen and the Jellyfish, also from Milwaukee, which truly is a coincidence that we have two artists from Milwaukee here tonight. But she has taken a story and as a reminder, in the YouTube chat, you'll see links to these songs where you can click on them and watch the full videos. But she was, and the rest of her counterparts in Miss Jen and the Jellyfish were tasked with taking a story called Home and turning it into a song. And this story was written with kiddos from two separate families, the Legg family and the Jones family, who all lived on the same street or live on the same street. So we had Annalise, Charlotte, Annabelle, Bennett, Hadley, and Noah, who all came together to create this story called Home. And Miss Jen and the Jellyfish took it and turned it into a really fun song that I'm excited for everybody to hear. So Miss Jen, are you here with us?
I am here, Austin. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the story, what the story is about, and what inspired you to turn this into a song?
Sure. So the story was called Home, and it was written by a group of cousins that live in Tennessee. And I think they all live on the same street, and the street is called Tulip Hill Drive. So every page was written by a different cousin, and the cousins, their ages ranged from really young to maybe like 10, 11, right, James? So it was really cute. They all wrote about how much they like to be together and play together and do different things at each other's houses on Tulip Hill Drive. So it was just adorable. They had different pictures, and they all made lists of the people in their family. So it was really clear that their family means so much to all of them, and they like to spend time together. It was a great story.
That's awesome. And if you watch the video that's on the site attached to the song of when you were able to play this song for them, it was a zoo of kids all watching you guys play this song. And it was really fun. You know, some of the kids, of course, had their heads right up against the computer while other kids were like doing somersaults in the background. And it was really fun to watch. So I hope everyone takes a minute to go check that out. But anyway, thank you very much. Take it away. I can't wait to hear the song.
Okay, sounds good. Ready, James?
Ready?
All right. Tulip Hill is a quiet street in the hills of Tennessee, where there live some special people that are part of my family. We love to laugh and we love to play. We're together in so many ways. Special things we like to do. When you're with me and I'm with you, right here on Tulip Hill, we live as still together as a family, to love and live as one, to share our fun together as a family here on Tulip Hill. Fun with KK making cookies, frosted angels at Christmas time, and at the lake house going swimming. We play at your house and at mine. We love to laugh and we love to play. We're together in so many ways. Special things we like to do. When you're with me and I'm with you, right here on Tulip Hill, we live as still together as a family, to love and live as one, to share our fun together as a family here on Tulip Hill. Right here on Tulip Hill, we live as still together as a family, to love and live as one, to share our fun together as a family here on Tulip Hill. Grandmama, Papa, KK, Noah, Annalise, and Bennett, Ben and Tess, Alan and Alicia, Hadley, Annabelle, and Charlotte. We love to laugh and we love to play. We're together in so many ways. Special things we like to do. When you're with me and I'm with you, right here on Tulip Hill, we live as still together as a family, to love and live as one, to share our fun together as a family here on Tulip Hill.
That was awesome.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah, great job, you guys. That was really fantastic. Something that I always get a kick out of about Sing Me a Story is that, you know, these experiences are awesome, and you see the kids, you know, they hear their songs for the first time, and it's really a special thing. But I think so often what you don't see is the fact that, you know, when they get in the minivan to go wherever they go every day, you know, I can't tell you the amount of times that we've heard from parents that will say, we literally listen to that song 16 times a day. And, you know, as those of you with kids know, they want to watch the same movies a million times. They want to listen to the same song over. They never seem to get sick of them. And when I hear that song, I can just see each of those kiddos requesting their song, hearing their name in their song over and over again. So you guys did a really fantastic job.
Thank
So
you.
Thanks.
yeah, thank you. And I know they really appreciate it. Where are you guys right now?
Like where in the world or where, what is
Like-
this room?
Yeah, where is this room?
James?
We are in Shorewood, Wisconsin, and we both work for the Shorewood School District, and our kids go to the Shorewood School District. Both of our families live here, work here. And so we're actually in the middle school band room today. Our friend, Mr. Olson, was gracious enough to let us use his mic and mixer and equipment and hang out in this cool big band room.
We thought this would be a good backdrop.
Yeah,
I think it looks cool.
it's very cool. It's
Thank
very
you.
cool.
We won't
And
be playing any drums or any of that kind of stuff, but they're there. They're a nice backdrop.
that's awesome. So Miss Jen, I know a little bit about your background and what you do in Miss Jen and the Jellyfish, but maybe you could share that with everybody.
Sure. So, well, I used to teach music classes to little ones under David Weinstone. He has a program called Music for Aardvarks. So I taught classes with Music for Aardvarks Milwaukee for about 10 years. And while I was doing that, I also started a band. I called it like Hindi rock. So we played songs from my music program and some other songs, and we played around town for quite a while. We still do, obviously not right now with COVID, but we like to play family shows and events. We played at parks and breweries, libraries. We play all over town, so it's been a really fun part of the job. It's been very rewarding, and I think I met you, Austin, at Summerfest. So we always played Summerfest, the kids stage. So that was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for always being such a great part of Sing Me a Story. And, you know, can you speak a little bit about Sing Me a Story and how it may have introduced you to parts of an organization like ALSA that you may not have known previously?
Sure, absolutely. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Austin, for including me in Sing Me a Story, because it's just a really rewarding project for me. Every time, I love getting the kids' stories. I like looking through the stories and picking the stories that kind of speak to me, and writing songs about them. And I was really excited for this story in particular, Home, that we turned into the Tulip Hill song, because it came to us through Sing Me a Story, but also was connected with the ALS Foundation. And like you were saying previously in the show, I hadn't really thought about the support that family members might need in families that have ALS. So it's been really rewarding for me to know that I'm doing something for the kids that are affected by ALS indirectly, but in a really close family situation. So thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I personally am really excited for your original song because I have watched the video that is associated with it, and I know it's to come. So you both mentioned that you're a part of the school district, correct?
Correct.
Right.
In Shorewood. Okay, so can you explain a little bit of the background? So first of all, the song that you're about to play is called the Hot Dog Song. Is that right?
It's actually Hot Dog Day.
Hot Dog
song.
Day song, yeah.
A Hot Dog Day
The
song.
day is very important.
Okay. Well, can you explain a little bit about, you know, obviously with a title like the Hot Dog Day song, it leaves a few questions to be answered. Can you share with us a little bit about the background and on what it all is?
Certainly. Hot Dog Day is we both of our families have kids that go to Lake Bluff Elementary, and Hot Dog Day is something that's normally celebrated every year. I actually have 3 of my monsters over in the corner. They're going to make an appearance in just a minute. So if you hear a little rustling.
Cool.
So Hot Dog Day, it usually happens in May. It's kind of a near the end of school thing, a big celebration where everyone gathers on the lawn of the school and enjoys like a sack lunch and hangs out. And it's just a fun day that didn't really get to happen the normal way this year, of course, because of COVID. But the school still hosted a virtual Hot Dog Day. And so I was thinking it would be really fun to write a song about Hot Dog Day and gather. We have a few musician friends that have kids at the school. And I have a friend named Arthur Ursink that is a really great videographer. And so he agreed to put this video together for us. So we gathered some of our friends to play this song, record the song. I went to everyone's house one at a time and recorded the song and then put it together, and we recorded a neat video, kind of distanced, but it turned out to be a really fun thing for the community. So it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And for those of you watching, I know Autumn is putting the link to the video in the YouTube chat. Don't go now, but after tonight's concert, please take a second. This song puts a smile on anybody's face, whether you know the community of Shorewood or not. It's really, really fun to watch. So I think there's something happening.
Yep. We're adding a little bit to the set.
You two
right.
Go around that way, or I'm almost done.
Without further ado.
This is a necessary prop for the Hot Dog Day song.
Correct.
So I have my 3 kids are here. This is Quinn with Miss Jen over here. And Lincoln and Brooklyn are making their way around the maze of instruments right now. So you guys hang out right about here. Perfect. And so they're going to provide some background accompaniment for us. So you guys ready to sing? Are you ready to sing? Okay.
Take it away.
Here we go. You ready, Miss Jen?
I am ready.
A special day is here, but it doesn't feel the same. You're staying home with family, and sometimes that's pretty lame. We can make it happen if we listen to our hearts. We'll celebrate together even though we are apart. You miss your friends and teachers, so we wrote this song to let you know that everything is gonna be okay. Today's the day, it's Hot Dog Day. It's a special day for you and me and all our Lake Bluff family. Hot Dog Day, oh Hot Dog Day. Hot Dog Day is in you if you listen to the hot dog in your heart. Hot Dog Day is a feeling that comes this time of year. And though this year was different, we stuck with it and persevered. Hot Dog Day is family, on who you can depend, and being kind, working hard, and having fun with friends. You miss your friends and teachers, so we wrote this song to let you know that everything is gonna be okay. Today's the day, it's Hot Dog Day. It's a special day for you and me and all our Lake Bluff family. Hot Dog Day, oh Hot Dog Day. Hot Dog Day's in you if you clap, guys. Good job, Brooklyn.
Good job, everybody.
I seem a little distracted by all the instruments.
Yeah, yeah. That happens. That happens. Well, if the hot dog day in your heart isn't a metaphor for all of us that we need to hold on to get through COVID-19 and all the craziness in this world, I don't know what is. Great job, guys. And thank you so much, James. Thank you so much, Miss Jen.
Gosh, thank you.
Thank you all for being a part of Sing Me a Story and bringing joy to these kids, especially in a time when so many of us, can't be together. It really makes a huge difference. So thank you.
Thank you. We had a great time.
Yeah, this is great.
Awesome. Well, we'll keep you involved for as long as you want to be involved. Believe me, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Forever.
Well, great. Well, so we have a couple questions that have come in for different folks just about their songwriting process and how many instruments they can play and different things like that. So we'll take a couple questions for the songwriters, and then I know we're running up against dinner time for a lot of us, especially those with little ones. So real quick, we had a question come in from Micah, who is surrounded by instruments in his studio. Micah, folks wanted to know, how many instruments can you play?
I just have a lot of one or two instruments. I can play guitar as my main thing. I play ukulele as well, and a fairly poor bass. I take singing more seriously than I should. But I've been getting into finger drumming recently. So I can take like a, hold on a second here. Can I find them? I can take like my little pad and, make up little drum beats and stuff like that.
Very cool.
I just play guitar pretty much.
Fair enough. Well, finger drumming, that's a new instrument for me, but in that case, I think I'm a master finger drummer. I'm tapping all the time. So
on your desk, all you gotta do is put little sounds to a square, and you can annoy more quickly.
Totally. Fair enough. Well, Charlie, somebody wanted to know, being up in Foley, a small town outside of St. Cloud, how did you hear about Sing Me a Story and get involved in Sing Me a Story?
I was playing a bar. It's bottom of a bike shop in Minneapolis. It's called the Warming House, and they approached me, and I wrote a song. I found a story I really loved, and I wrote a song about a great space adventure. And then they liked that one, so they asked me to be part of it again, and they've sent me the Ruben and May song. So that was very similar story to Micah's, because they liked the first one I did. So the second one, I can't walk by a kid without asking them if they want to hear a song. Hey, you want to hear a song? It's great. I love it. I love that song.
That's awesome. Miss Jen, you had mentioned forming a band, Miss Jen and the Jellyfish. How did you get a band together? I mean, I think especially for a lot of young musicians, one of the struggles, especially now, of course, with COVID, but just in general, is finding other musicians. And I know through this process, you've mentioned different members of your band at different times. How did you go about finding band members and all that good stuff?
Well, so initially I was just teaching music classes. And while I was doing that, a lot of parents in the class would chat with me about music, about what they played or what they wish they could play. And I became friends with one of the dads that would come to classes, and he told me that he was a drummer. So for probably like a year, I didn't know anything more about him besides the fact that he was a drummer. And then a year into our friendship at music classes, he told me that he played for the Violent Femmes. So then I was really glad that he hadn't told me ahead of time that he was a violent femme, because I would have been really nervous. But so we continued to be friends. And as I was working with the classes, I was kind of coming up with this idea of creating a performance group with these songs that I really liked and that the families were really liking. So I asked, his name is John Sparrow,
And I asked John, like, hey, what do you think about starting like a kids band with these songs? And he was just like, absolutely, 100%, I'm in. So he grabbed a guitar player that he had played with and a bass player, and then another mom actually from music classes whose name is Rachel DeVour. She plays the mandolin, and she's also really great at like sound effects, and she's got a great voice, and she's phenomenal at harmonizing. So we grabbed her, and so that was our initial band, the five of us. And then as we were playing, it seems like once you kind of get rolling, then it attracts more musicians, and people would come up and say, hey, if you ever need a banjo player, like, let me know, I'd love to play with you. Hey, if you ever need like a backup rhythm guitarist, I would love to play with you. So that helped a lot. But it is hard to get a band going when you know that you want to play and you want to play with other people. It's hard to find them. My daughter is 13 and she plays guitar, and she actually found a flyer on a tree that another 13-year-old had made recently, and it said 13-year-old bass player looking for a band. So she took a leap and reached out to the girl, and now they have a 4-piece band, and they practice every Sunday. So you do kind of have to put yourself out there, and that's a scary step, to play in front of other people for the first time, and to play with people that you think might be better than you. Like James is way better than me, but we've come a long way, right, James? And how did I meet you? I don't even know. How did we meet?
I came to see the Jellyfish band, and my kids loved it, and I loved it, and so I wanted to hang out with you. So
yeah.
we did you say anything about Jen Mill?
No,
band?
no, I didn't.
We played in a big 20s style jazz band that had about 12 to 15 members at any one time. So
depending on the day.
Yeah.
And so we sort of started playing through that, and then started doing another band as well, and then the Jellyfish. Now you're a Jellyfish. Congratulations,
Thanks.
James.
Finally,
you made it.
I've been working on it for a couple of years. Finally made it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that story. Yeah, I think especially for a lot of musicians out there, it's neat to hear how other folks have gotten together with other musicians to make music. It's kind of a awkward thing because you do have to kind of put yourself out there. It sounds like your daughter did that, and that's kind of the first step. So that's really great. So tonight we had at one point, I know, over 50 computers watching, and I always say computers because behind each of those computers there's usually 2 or 3 or 4 people watching this tonight. So my guess is we had close to 100 folks attending this concert tonight, which is really fun and really exciting. And thank you to all you songwriters for donating your time and for taking the stories of these kids and bringing them to the world through music. As you know, that's something at Sing Me a Story we're really passionate about. We, at the core of what we do, we believe that the greatest gift in the world is the gift of giving. And if we can give the kids we serve the one opportunity to give the things they all have, which is their imaginations, and if we can bring those imaginations to the world through music, we can hopefully remind us that we all have far more in common than we often attribute to ourselves. Because we feel that the world is destined to be united, even as divided as it might seem at times. And if we can be one small part of that, we will have done our job. Because needless to say, who can't get behind a song about Hot Dog Day, or a song about the Mountain Man, or any number of the beautiful, beautiful, awesome songs we heard tonight. So many of which were inspired by the kids that we were able to be connected to through the Numotion Foundation and with the help of ALSA Tennessee chapter. So I want to, of course, finish by saying thank you to our wonderful Sing Me a Story songwriters, the Numotion Foundation, and all the folks behind the scenes that make this happen. Andrea, Justin, you know who you are, and of course, Brett, who we got to speak with tonight. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. Thank you to the ALSA chapters that we've been able to work with. And then from our standpoint, our staff and our interns. So Tom, and Autumn, who are behind the scenes, making the faces pop up on the screen when they're supposed to, making sure the sound is what it is. And then of course, Tom Chester, who works with all these kids, does such a fantastic job, as you heard Rachel say. So, so thank you guys. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all being a part of this. It, needless to say, has been a work from our hearts, and it's really fantastic to see all these wonderful people come together to make it a reality. So thank you so much. With that, we will say goodnight, because I know there are at least 3 or 4 kids that I see on that screen that probably need to eat dinner soon. So anyway, thank you all